Well, we're here in Tacoma, Washington, and I just got a dispatch to go to right here in Tacoma to pick up some giant paper rolls and take them over to Salt Lake. I just checked the weather. I think it'll be a good trip. I'm going to try it out. So why don't you ride along with me? I'm Indiana Jack. Once I have a dispatch like this one, especially if I'm going over the mountains, the big mountains, we're talking Snoqualmie Pass, I check the weather, make sure how the snow is going to be up there, and that's always a concern when you're around where there's lots of mountains and snow and potential weather. But the biggest problem right now is getting out of this parking lot at the Loves in Tacoma. Getting out of this parking lot, it's one of the tiniest truck stops in terms of parking that we have. Yeah, I know there's some Loves in the east that are tight and in Texas and stuff, but this one, I guess they should just nuke and start over. Please don't send me hate mail. I was just joking about nuking this. And as you can see straight ahead, 8 trucks deep that like to park in the driveway. Now, I think I've mentioned it before in past films about Tacoma, and if you live here, a common term is the Tacoma aroma, because like all paper mills, they have a distinct smell to them. So what you smell in Tacoma, and it's called the Tacoma aroma because of the mill. See, you don't learn that on other films and other places on YouTube. I give you the most meaningless trivia. One thing about this mill, you have to watch this safety video every time you come here, because any kind of safety problems, emergencies, you have to know what to do. So they give you this little card, but it's only good for like 6 months. I only come here like once a year. We're in this mud pit. It's kind of like a staging area before you go in and you can get your paperwork ready and stuff. But every time I come here, I have to wash my shoes off. It's muddy, all right.
Leather soles or high heels are not advised. You will find warning lights, signs, and caution tape throughout the entire mill. It is your responsibility.
Say that was as good as Star Wars. I love going to the movies at work. Alright. Now we're gonna have to sweep out the trailer. Probably. There's a lot of character in these old docks. A lot of characters too, but character just in the way everything all looks old. I can't see in my mirrors at all. I'm gonna have to wipe them off. I'm gonna have to lock them up. We have to wait in here. They don't let you wait in your truck at this shipper. So they made this little waiting room. At least it's warm in here. My nose is running though. We got rolls of paper, good. And they're the small ones, thank goodness. Those are always a little bit less weight, so that's great. Now we just gotta shut up the doors. All right, well, I weighed just to make sure everything was okay. The weights are good. So we're on our way to Salt Lake City. And off we go through the Kent Valley and then over Snoqualmie. Folks, we may see some snow today. Half of me wants to see it, half of me doesn't.
Turn right on East M Street, and then turn right at 350 feet. Proceed to the highlighted route.
Actually, that place loads pretty fast. You know, it only took an hour to get in and out of there.
In 900 feet, turn left on East 28th Street.
Which, as you truckers know, that's good.
50 feet.
1 hour. We're just about the top of Snoqualmie Pass. Great weather so far. It's just wet pavement, but it's way over freezing. It's like in the 40s. So. It's beautiful country, you know. Beautiful country. I'd rather it be light coming over pass rather than this much weight, but the second half of the trip isn't as hilly. We're in eastern Washington, where they grow most of the country's apples here. Not just apples, but many, many apples.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
This is one of those truck stops that's also a Greyhound bus station, so you never know what kind of vagrants you're going to see in here. Used to be a pilot until all the changes that happened a couple years ago. 25 minutes from Hermiston, Oregon. And we're dealing with just light snow. It's 31 degrees, just enough to be annoying. And as you can see, fog. So that means on Cabbage, it's probably going to be very similar to this. We just cleared the Oregon border scale in Umatilla, Oregon. And it's the most missed scale in the United States, because you actually have to leave the freeway and go on the scale and then get back on the freeway. I know when I was a new driver, I missed it. I didn't get a ticket. I never got stopped for it, but I know with our carrier, many tickets are issued due to people running that scale. That's the Umatilla scale in Oregon. It's the port of entry there. I remember when I was new, I remember seeing the signs for it, but I never saw the scale, and I kept looking, and then the signs disappeared, and then I realized it was at the actual place where you exit off of the freeway. Kind of designed that way on purpose, probably. Well, we went 400 miles today. That's not so bad. Well, I'm finishing up my paperwork. I actually could drive 200 more or 2 more hours, but this is far enough. Made it to Grande, Oregon, and the last hour up Cabbage, it got a little bit, got rainy, and it was right, at the temperature of 32 degrees, so you don't really know if it's icy or not. So I didn't slide off the road, so I guess I'm fine. I occasionally stop at this Flying J. It hasn't always been a Flying J. I forget what the name was before. But it's the only place to stop between Cabbage and only good place, in my opinion, between Cabbage and Ontario. So we'll hit that in the morning. Just checking out the weather here. Slept good. Darn good sleep. No snow where we're going, thank goodness. Weather looks good. Ontario, Oregon looks like a temperature right now of 25 degrees. That's pretty cold. Well, here's the update. Just when I left Grande this morning, Grande, Oregon, where we slept, when you go up that hill there, it turned really nasty. And a lot of cars and trucks had jackknifed on that hill. And so it stayed pretty much snow-packed from there to here. They started salting here because this is more of an urban area, almost. I mean, it's, a lot of little houses and stuff, so cars are going to be on it soon. So it's a little bit better here, but back there were tons of jackknives. We made it all the way to Ontario, Oregon, where we're going to put a 50 gallons of fuel in. There's a little bit of sadness whenever I come to this truck stop here in Ontario, Oregon. It's where I learned that my mom had died. My brother called me on the phone, my oldest brother. He had got the call that morning, and he's very emotional. He couldn't talk, and the phone rang. I was filling up right in this very slot, and no one was there, but I knew it was him, and I said, "She's dead, isn't she?" And he just went, "Yes." I said, "Okay, well, I'll call you back when you gain your composure." He said, "Okay." And he's a football jock, you know, not a guy you'd think that was emotional, but when it came to my folks, he's the one that told me that both of my parents had died. A very similar situation with my dad also. Anyway, I'm here at the truck stop in Ontario, and now every time I come here I think of that, so I get kind of sad about it. Did you ever notice how when you're gonna start to roll, somebody else rolls? That's trucking. No problem though. There's plenty of room for all of us. On departure out of Ontario, Oregon. Why can't I say that? It's because I'm from Ontario, California, so I'm not from there, but you know the drill. That's closely my base, and so everything all my life has been Ontario, California. So when I have to add an Oregon at the end rather than a California, it's tough to remember at my age. Then on the radio, when I hear radio people, or even like Trucker Josh or somebody mentioning Ontario, they're thinking of Ontario, Canada. They don't even know about our Ontarios down here. So there's no right or wrong there. It's just where you're from. But we're definitely in Ontario, Oregon right now. Wouldn't you want to be one of those houses right there? With all the trucks pulling in and out at all hours of the night. I wouldn't want to live there. All right, we have, folks, 3 scales to cross over. And they're all usually pretty open. The one just past Boise, then the one leaving Idaho, that's open sometimes. And then, of course, the one going into Utah. I usually get a green light on that one, but when you're this heavy, sometimes they pull you in. They just want to see if you're legal. We're in Twin Falls, Idaho, making good time today. Gone about 300 miles this morning. Been smooth sailing ever since we got fuel earlier. We're gonna stop up here at this little Oasis truck stop. I stop here occasionally. Get some lunch. I like stopping at different places sometimes, the same old places, you get tired of the same old thing over and over. So whenever there is a place that's different, I like to stop there. I have other friends that stop here also. And there's a lot of room to park. It's about 38 degrees. Definitely chilly. We're going to get a regular parking spot. Hey, there's a cab over. Everybody loves cab overs. That one's kept up pretty nice too. Idaho. If you're ever on 84 approaching Salt Lake City, this is a good place to stop. Quick in and out on the right hand side. It's called Garden of Eden. Stop here next time and I think you'll agree. Well, we're getting out of here. Get our 30-minute break. Onward we go to Salt Lake City. This section of Idaho is pretty dull. It's kind of just flat, you know. Wow, they have good burritos. I guess he's gonna let me go. That's always nice. Caution, we have two clowns up here hitchhiking. You never know if someone like that's going to run underneath the trailers to commit suicide. And I'm not joking. I've heard of that happening. 9 gallons of fuel left. Hopefully that'll get me over the Utah scale, and then I can actually fill up. In this game we play with the DOT of being overweight. This is one of those places that has, you know, so many rules that you almost have to read a manual to come into it. Like a government facility. All right, we're just gonna try to find our way here and try to follow all the rules they have, which I can't remember them all. See, that's the thing. Some people give you the pages and pages of rules, and you have to sign them. But who can remember all that? I know it's all insurance liability and lawyers and all that stuff. And what makes this place worse is that it's union. And not right away when something's union, flags go up, that it's going to be a bad situation. I just tried to hook up to this trailer, but it was too high, so I couldn't hook up to it. It's a common thing with us truckers where the guy that had it before us, his tractor was a high tractor. Mine's a little bit lower. Let me show you what I mean. It's my fifth wheel right there, and the trailer is supposed to just slide right onto that, but that gap is too high. So I need to lower the trailer some so that I can back up to it and it will connect. If you saw my video, Journey to Nashville, where I got the oldest, most broken trailer in a whole fleet, well, I got one just like that again. It's broken. The landing gear's all broken on it. So there's no way to do it except for wind it down slowly. Alright, I finished dollying it down. So now I'm going to back up and see if we get the connect. Hear that click? And we always do a tug test. Make sure we're connected really good before we roll. Alright, got lights. We're all good to go. You know, I'd like you to make sure that you go to my YouTube page, Indiana Jack Trucker, really easy to find. Make sure you click subscribe on there so that every time one of my films comes out, especially a long epic one like this comes out, you can watch it. it's nice having you guys ride along, and as I always say, trucking really is an adventure. Ride along with me. I'm Indiana Jack. And I really appreciate you coming along with me. Boy, that's a tiny little exit they got there. I'd also like you to visit my Facebook page. That's where we have a lot of fun talking about trucks and all the things that go on as they happen on a day-to-day basis. And you can find me there at facebook.com/Indiana Jack. That's an easy one. Awesome pictures and just general talking about trucking and what's going on in the trucking industry. And the last thing is, there's one of our friends on Facebook, California Kurt. You've probably heard me talk about him before. He's a good guy to follow on YouTube as well as Facebook, and he's on facebook.com/California-Kurt, C-U-R-T, with a C, not a K. And he's a great guy to follow too. Got some great videos. He's probably one of the best photographers I've ever met. So go to his Facebook page, and he's got awesome pictures there. A lot of trucking stuff too. Even if you hate California, go there, because you can talk about how much you hate California right on his page.